built right in Groton, New York by Dan Searles and his team. So a very potent machine for Justin Ledoux. And that, oh, we got two around in turn number 4. Not sure what happened there. Green flag going to come out. Justin Ledoux walking it up the speedway. There goes Dugan down to the inside as they head. We'll move on to heat race number 2 for the 600cc modifieds. Hopefully we've got these jitters out of the way. Field packed, stacked, ready to go. Green flag is out. There they go down the front stretch. Ledoux with a good start, but Dugan up to the task. There goes James Randall on the top side of the speedway, trying to find something in that 17J. Dugan back to the inside of Ledoux down the back stretch. Wow, Dugan finding some speed there in the number 1 machine. Off the corner, Ledoux holding the momentum. Checkered flag going to wave. Heat win going to go to Justin Ledoux. Chad Dugan second, James Randall third, and Redfield packed, stacked, ready to go. This time out of turn number 4. 8 laps the distance. Top 4 to the 3 draw. Everybody making the feature. Green flag is going to come out. Down the front stretch, it's going to be Rich Powell with the lead. There goes Jeremy Williams and Josh Towner. I told you, Josh Towner is a madman. He's up there on the high side of the speedway. Rich Powell going to jump out to the lead. Here comes Kenny Harris. From the back to the front. Harris now in second position. That Hurricane race car built by Harris. Wow. Mayhem as they come out of turn number 4. Josh Towner going around. Caution flag going to wave. Setting a very brisk pace. Harris on his outside. Green flag going to wave. Jared Green now finds himself up to 3rd. Suko sits there in 4th. Jeremy Williams in 5th. Josh Towner in 6th. Chelsea Beebe back there in 7th. A little bit of contact between Beebe and Towner. No harm, no foul. Battle down the backstretch as Kenny Harris jumping out to the lead. Rich Powell 2nd. Suko finds himself in 3rd. He's got a mirror full of Jared Green off the corner. At the stand, it's going to be Suko with a slight advantage. Jeremy Williams sits there in that 5th position while Chelsea Beebe battling with Josh Towner at the back of the pack. Down the backstretch they go. Rich Powell gives up position to Jared Green all over his back deck lid. And Jeremy Williams right there in the 00. Meanwhile, out front, there's a Hurricane. It's the Hurricane race cars, number 17K of Kenny Harris. Still your leader, Suko, the Iowa boy, finds himself in 2nd. Jared Green 3rd. Battle now for the 4th spot between Jeremy Williams and Rich Powell. Powell gives Williams the advantage heading into 3, but I'm going to watch Powell as he's going to pull to the back deck lid of Williams as they head. We got one around. Chelsea Beebe goes around in turn number 4. Caution flag going to come out. That lap scored, but Beebe going around. Green flag going to wave. Down the front stretch they go. Kenny Harris with the advantage. 3 wide down into turn number 1. Side by side. It's going to be Suko settling into that 2nd spot. Williams now steals away the 3rd position. Jared Green in that 4th and final redraw spot, but he's got heavy hitting company behind him. Ooh, Williams washes up the speedway, opens the York Green as they are side by side at the flag stand. Too close to call. There goes the trackside products, number 35 of Green to the inside. Williams go this time on a turn number 4 for Kenny Harris. Oh, white flag is going to wave. Excuse me, I take it back. One more time around. Kenny Harris, your leader. Cole Suko in 2nd with a very impressive run in that 75. Jeremy Williams sits in 3rd. 4th will be Jared Green, Chelsea Beebe, Josh Towner, Rich Powell. Here they come out of turn number 4. Heat win going to go to Kenny Harris. 2nd will be Ko Suko. 3rd will be Jeremy Williams. 4th, Jared Green. 5th, Chelsea Beebe. 6th, Josh Towner. And rounding out the field will be Rich Powell. Turn number 4. Let's try it again. Like I said, it's been a day. It has been a heck of a day. And then some. That looks good. Green flag going to wave. Jeff Brown on the horn. The hammer as he heads down into turn number 1. Right behind him, Dave Dickey on his inside. Kevin Stevens, Brian Calabrese, Steve Davis working the inside to perfection in the 13 machine. Dickey going to fall back in the 23 machine. There goes Davis. Davis also a competitor in the modified division, so I got to imagine these cars really slow down for him as he is getting on the horn. Everything seems to slow down when you go from a bigger car to a smaller car. There in turn number 1. Wow, what a move by Kevin Stevens as he's now going to jump out to the advantage. So a power move by Stevens as he now finds himself in the lead. There goes Davis to the inside as Brown caught up there on the high side of the speedway, able to keep the momentum. But as you can see, his car twisted up as he's going down the front stretch. Brown goes around in turn number 1, backs it into the outside. As they head into turns 3 and 4. Green flag and a wave as the restart over there in 4 for a larger window. He caught him sleeping. Stevens, crossed up in the wheel. Here comes Davis on the inside. You saw a little bobble by Stevens, and Davis, careful of Brian Calabrese, as Calabrese all over the back deck lid of that Dickey machine as they head down the backstretch. That looks like that's going to be our next challenge on the Speedway. Davis with the advantage, Stevens still in second, Dickey third, and Calabrese, your 4 cars in the redraw. Parallel sticks in the air, 6 down, 2 to go. Dickey way up on the top side of the Speedway, allowing Calabrese to pull. Back up to the tail side of that car. Calabrese on the top. Look for a high-low switch as they come out of 2. Maybe. He is all little love tap as they head into 3. Calabrese side by side. He might want to hang on to it. Dickey shuts the door. Little, hey, how you doing? Going on over there in turns number 3 and 4. Calabrese gave Dickey the shot heading into the corner. Dickey said, yeah, no, I'm good. I don't typically hold the door for people behind me. Steve Davis coming out of turn number 4, picking up the heat win. Second going to be Kevin Stevens. Third will be Dickey. Fourth will be Calabrese. So those guys all in the redraw. Jamaican 6th. Eric Windsor 6th. Jeff Brown 7th. Gordon to go this time out of turn number 4. Top 4 to the redraw. Heat number 2 going green. Right about now. Down the front stretch, Murtaugh on the hammer. Jumps out to the advantage. Contact between Komar and Toth as they head into turns number 1 and 2. Princiata there in the 32 machine. Dives to the inside of Komar. All that looked like a missed start for Komar, allowing Murtaugh to jump out to that lead. They head down into turns 1 and 2. Toth caught up in the loose stuff. Gary Smith, the benefactor of that, as he now settles into the 4th spot. Going to set his sights on Komar as they head today. And Gary Smith there in 3rd. Smith all over the back deck lid of Princiata as they head down the backstretch into turns number 3 and out of turn number 4. This is a much bigger track than Smith typically acclimated to, and doing a masterful job in that Matco Tools number 7 up. High-low switch from Smith as he's going to pull to the inside of Princiata down the backstretch. Who's going to give an inch? Princiata gives him plenty of room to work, but he's got the momentum in that number 32 machine. Meanwhile, out front, Richard Murtaugh, the 3rd, blistering the field right now. Princiata second. As he clears turn number 2, Richard almost a full straightaway advantage over the 2nd spot. Princiata looking very stout in the number 32 machine. Gary Smith in 3rd. 4th will be Whitmoyer. White flag and a wave. Toth back there in 5th. Brokaw 6th. Omar in the 8th position. Down the backstretch into 3 out of 4. He's not even going to have that much time to actually grab that checkered flag with a blistering pace, picking up the heat win here at the Yankee Classic. Richley Scott there in the 108, the 9X of Josh Towner, Steve Sterner in the 7 machine there at the back of the pack, as well as the 17R of Rich Powell. Field pack stacked, ready to go green this time out of turn number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, the 600cc modified Yankee Classic on the hammer. Here we go. What a start by James Randall on the outside. They are 4 wide out of turn number 2. Randall drifts back a little bit there. Out front, Kenny Harris, your leader of lap number 1. Harris led pretty much all but the big one last year. Wow, that outside wall coming up quick on the 17 machine of Chelsea Beebe. Down into 1 out of 2. Still going to be Harris with the advantage. Justin Ledoux in 2nd. Cole Suko 3rd. Chad Dugan 4th. And Jared Green now up to the 5th spot. James Randall finds himself back there in 6th. Oh, we got contact in turns 3 and 4. Reggie Rima gets caught by that 00 Williams. No harm, no foul, but he does find himself drifting backwards. Here we go out of turn number 2. Kenny Harris still your leader. Justin Ledoux in 2nd. 3rd is Suko, and he's got a mirror full of the number 1. Turn number 4, Kenny Harris and Justin Ledoux side by side and side by each. Going green out of 4. Harris on the hammer. Green flag's going to wave. Down the front stretch, it's Harris with the advantage. He has got company in the form of a, oh no! Harris gets looped in turn number 1 with contact from Suko. He barely grazed him and sent him around. That is a tough. He's got Jared Green on his outside, cat and mouse. He's going to walk it up side by side down the front stretch. Justin Ledoux is going to motor into the lead down into turns number 1 and 2. Really rubbering up in the middle. Oh, Green makes contact. Oh my goodness. Green makes contact and sends Ledoux around. This is the Mondayest Monday I think I've ever experienced in my life. Green flag is out. Down into 1 they go. Dugan on the bottom, but he's unable to hold the momentum. James Randall now finds himself in the lead. Here comes Rich Powell with a head of steam in the 17-yard, pulling to the inside of Kenny Harris. They go side by side into turns 3 out of 4. Harris with the advantage. New leader, James Randall. Chad Dugan settles in the second position. Third spot will be Kenny Harris, but he's got a mirror full of Rich Powell. Back there in 5th is Cole Suko, Reggie Rima. Josh Towner now on the charge, looking to the inside of Rima as they head into turns 3 and 4. Slight contact between Rima and Towner. Not sure what happened on the Rima machine, but he lost a ton of momentum on that. R Sharp. Of course, I told you about Wicked Tees. We got the event t-shirts, $20. Message us on the Facebook page. Wicked Tees also made the event plaques, and I got to say, they are sweet. And everybody wants to win one because they look phenomenal. So James Randall at the front of the field, Chad Dugan second, Kenny Harris third, Rich Powell fourth, Cole Suko fifth, Jared Green sixth. You've got a pair of Nate Shea racing cars in Josh Towner and Jeremy Williams, and then Reggie Rima rounding out the field. So they're going to go green this time out of 4. I think they might think too. We'll see. James Randall looks ready to go. He's setting a very brisk pace. As you can hear him starting to wind up. Rima catches him sleeping. Randall catches him sleeping. And now Dugan going to have a mirror full of Kenny Harris. Wow, Dugan with a power move there in 1 and 2. Slides to the inside, but Randall able to navigate him. Harris sits back there in the 3rd spot, and he looks poised to strike in that Hurricane Race Cars number 17K. There they go out of turn number 4. Wow, they are mixing them up all over the speedway. Rich Powell working. You can see brake problems on the 75 machine. The right rear is just laying sparks off. White flagging away. One more time around for Kenny Harris. The campaigner out of Pennsylvania in that Hurricane Race Cars, Nate Shea Racing, number 17K. Chad Dugan settling in the second. The refrigerator door is closed. The lights are off. The butter is hard. The jello's jiggling. The wind going to go to Kenny Harris. Second will be Chad Dugan. Third, Cole Suko. Fourth, James Randall. Fifth will be Jared Green in that Trackside Products 35. Jeremy Williams 6th. Josh Towner 7th. Rich Powell 8th. And the rest is unofficial. They're going to head to the infield for tech. We're going to leading us to the green flag. Princiata on his outside. And here we go. They're up and running. The 602 Sportsman Modifieds heading down into turns number 1 and 2. You can see a little slick there at the top side of the speedway as Gary Smith finding himself moving backwards. You can find some momentum up there on the top side of the speedway. Not typically traveled up there. Leader of lap number 1 is going to be Craig Whitmore. Second is going to be Brian Calabrese. Third, David Dickey. Kevin Stevens sits there in 4th. Richard Murtaugh the 3rd in 5th. A little bit of a jingle there at the back of the pack. Gordon Smith working to the inside of Seth Zacharias as they head down the backstretch. Craig Whitmore is still your leader, 2 laps in, 28 laps remaining. Calabrese in 2nd, Dickey 3rd, Stevens 4th, and Murtaugh in 5th. Green flag and a wave. Whitmore on the gun, Calabrese up to the task, side by side into 1 and 2. He is all over the back decklet. Here comes David Dickey on the outside. A masterful move by Dickey as they come out of turn number 2, down into 3. Dickey is going to settle into the 2 spot. Here comes Murtaugh on the inside. These guys not giving an inch into 3 and 4. Down the front stretch, still going to be Whitmore. Dickey now in 2nd. Murtaugh has navigated his way to 3rd. Calabrese with a power move back to the inside. Nothing doing. Joe Toth crossed up in the wheel there, which kind of a tail slap for Seth Zacharias, and he almost found that outside retaining wall, able to reel it in and keep his car underneath him. little bit of a scary moment for him there. The 2591 of Whitmore is a bad machine today. Out front, about a 7 car length advantage over the second place. David Dickey going to have heavy hitting company with Richard Murtaugh, the third, just behind him. Fourth will be Calabrese. Gary Smith back up to fifth. Kevin Stevens sixth. Princiata seventh. Steve Davis eighth. Joe Toth ninth. And Seth Zacharias rounding out the top 10. Out front, Whitmore still setting a blistering pace. If you know anything about the tires on these cars, the Grit Racing Series with a 44-48 tire rule compound, you can run a harder tire on the right rear if you prefer. Abrasive tracks, you tend to want to run a harder tire. Softer tire will allow you to do a little more in the early stages of the race, whereas a harder tire, as it gains heat, will end up working in later in the race. So if Whitmore is running that 48 tire on the right rear, maybe he's going harder. But if he is, and maybe somebody else behind him is running that harder tire, you may see some late race charges. Here comes Steve Davis to the inside in that 13 machine, able to navigate Princiata. Also, the New Jersey competitor of Joe Toth working past Princiata down the backstretch. Princiata losing a bit of momentum, is up front early, and now finds himself drifting backwards. So I'm not sure what's going on with the 32 machine. Problems on the 9 machine of Jeff Brown. He's trying to get it woed up and down to the infield. So problems on that 9 of Jeff Brown. He's got a right front flat. Caution. None. Trophies and plaques. Yeah, that's what all these races are fighting for. One of the beautiful Yankee Classic plaques here. So white flag is going to wave. The field is packed and stacked, but we're not quite ready to go yet. Nope. Psych out. With a flat tire, racers receiving the courtesy lap, so I get it. We're rip-raring to go. They're trying to win one of those Wicked Tees plaques. They look good. I wish I could show you what they look like. I'm just going to tell you, they look good. That's about the best description I have. They look real nice. Field pack stacked, ready to go. Green flag is out. Good start for Whitmore. David Dickey going to have heavy company behind him. They motor down into turns 1 and 2. This is where it gets hairy. Yikes. Field shakes out. Don't look now. Steve Davis on the charge in that Premio number 13 to the inside of Calabrese. Calabrese stuck there on the top side of the speedway. Out front, Whitmore battle for the 2 spot in that Rocket Racing setups. Number 33 of Richard Murtaugh, the third. He is able to get past Dickey in that 23 machine. Davis back there in the 13. Greg Morgan going to pull to the infield, but he can't get out of the way. Big puddle there. Caution flag going to come out. That's okay. I'm like it. You can't beat it. Can you beat it? Can't beat it. Field back stacked, ready to go. Green flag is out. A little bit of a bobble by Murtaugh. Whitmore is going to have his hands full, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes Steve Davis on the inside. Uh-oh. Steve Davis in that 13 machine is on the charge. He found himself starting in the worst possible redraw spot in the 8th position. He said it himself, I'm a terrible redrawer. But turns out he's a pretty good race car driver, and he's now up to the 2 position. Down the backstretch, Whitmore up to the task as he opens it up to about a 4 car length advantage. Might be a little bit off on the measurement on that, but I'm close. Off the corner, Craig Whitmore still your leader. Steve Davis second. David Dickey with a masterful run sits in third. Kevin Stevens with a little bit of a wrinkle on the outside of that third. This is where things could get interesting. It's not like lap traffic is slow here. So Craig Whitmore is going to encounter lap traffic that is still setting a very good pace. However, it may slow him down enough to allow Steve Davis within striking distance to really make a difference here. So let's see how it shakes down. Whitmore dives to the inside of Windsor, able to navigate him successfully into 3 out of 4. Still your leader. He's now going to encounter lap traffic in the form of Jeff Brown. Ooh, the 76 of Avery coming to a crawl at the top side of the speedway out of turn number 2. That's going to bring out yellow. I got to imagine. Here it comes. There it is. Yellow flag going to wave as Avery coming to a crawl. The car bobbled at the top of 2, and he just never, it kind of came up lame coming out of the corner and bringing out the caution flag. Raceway, Fulton, Canandaigua. There's tons of tracks. So if you want to go watch racing for a week or 2 weeks, come to Central New York. I promise you won't be disappointed. Out front, Craig Whitmoyer back on the hammer. Kevin Stevens to the inside. That outside lane is wreaking havoc on that restart. That is, you know what? And that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Kevin Stevens now finds himself in the 2 spot, stalking your leader down the front stretch. Richard Murtaugh settled in the 3rd, Joe Toth 4th, Brian Calabrese 5th, Steve Davis sits in 6th, Seth Zacharias up to 7th, Randy Brokaw 8th, Tom Princiata 9th, Gary Smith. Oh, we got Jeff Brown around in turn 2. Caution flag gonna wave. My oh my. There's a lot of benefactors of the double file all the while, and then there's the people who hate our guts for it. That double file restart is wreaking havoc. There's a fine line on this racetrack, and you could see that the high side, the middle to high groove is fast. However, if you get over that line, it's real greasy, and that's what's happening as these guys head into turns number 1 and 2. They're finding themselves on the high side, and they lose that momentum and freight train to the inside, and it's really tough to grab your ground back. So Craig Whitmoyer, I can tell you, he is happy, and he is fat, dumb, and happy, eating on the front row on the inside. Kevin Stevens now finds himself on the outside in the 2nd spot. Richard Murtaugh the 3rd in 3rd. That's neat. So this just in from the Tech Barn for the 600cc Modifieds. The 2nd place finisher of Chad Dugan disqualified after a tech infraction. I'd tell you what it was, but it doesn't matter. I don't even know. I don't know anything about. I could hand you a wrench. You want a Phillips head? Got you. Got you, homie. You want a straight head? Yep, we can do that. You want a 3/4 socket? Probably not. It's gone. I could give you something close to that, but that's about it. So our finish is complete for the 600cc Modified. So it looks like Seth Zacharias coming to a halt there at the top of turns 3 and 4. Looking like he's going to go away on the business end of the hook. Tough break as Seth had worked his way up to the top 10. So right now your lineup: Craig Whitmoyer, Kevin Stevens, Richard Murtaugh the 3rd, Joe Toth, Brian Calabrese, Steve Davis, Randy Brokaw now up to the front in the Support Our Troops B17, Tom Princiata, Gary Smith in the 7-up, David Dickey in the 23, Gordon Smith in the 34 machine, the 21 of Greg Morgan, Eric Windsor in the Wheelers Excavating number 79, and Tom Avery rounding out the field in the 76 machine. It's going to be a killer year in Susquehanna, Pennsylvania. Down the front stretch they go. Craig Whitmoyer on the gun. Here comes Kevin Stevens to the inside. Ooh, he makes slight contact. I got to say, it looks like Stevens' car is real tight. If he wasn't, so you see it kind of, the nose washes up the speedway as he goes through the corner. If he was able to navigate that, that might have been the move for the race. Meanwhile, Richard Murtaugh out front. Stevens fighting a tight race car in that Interstate Batteries number 38 machine. Here comes Brian Calabrese to the inside. Off the corner, Craig Whitmoyer with a large advantage. Race now for the 3 spot. Calabrese to the inside of Stevens. Stevens' nose washes up the speedway again. Calabrese right there. Look at is 1.5 trips around this racetrack away from picking up the big victory in the 2591 machine. He heads into 3 out of 4. He's going to have that clean white sheet being laundered by head flagger Gary Kinney. Off the corner, here we go. One more time around. Craig Whitmoyer, Richard Murtaugh the 3rd in 2nd. 3rd is Stevens. 4th, Calabrese. 5th is Davis. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, into 3 out of 4. Winner of the Yankee Classic, Craig Whitmoyer. Richard Murtaugh the third in second. Kevin Stevens third. Brian Calabrese fourth. Steve Davis fifth. Joe Toth. Randy Brokaw. Gary Smith. Gordon Smith. Tom Princiata. Dave Dickey. Tom Avery. Greg Morgan rounding out the field with Eric Windsor. Finish on it.